Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for clicking another video, really appreciate it. So I've just driven about 3.5 hours from home. It's just gone 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm out in this amazing wet eucalypt forest. And the adventure that I was going to go on has just been dealt a bit of a curveball, unfortunately. Yeah, I've just arrived and there's a big sign that says this part of the park is closed. So yeah, I'm now 3.5 hours from home and I've got to change plans. Yeah, you got to roll the punches, I guess, but yeah, the only thing that's coming to mind, because I was prepared for this walk, is going to be just so looking forward to it all week. I've been reading this amazing book by John Blay. It's called The Bundian Way, and this book is just phenomenal. I'm going to talk more about it later on, but I was inspired after reading that book to come out here and sort of get a feel for the country, and there's some amazing Indigenous history out here. But unfortunately, it looks like because the park's closed, I need to respect that. Yeah, I have to come up with a different plan. So I'm thinking the only thing I can do at the moment, another 30 odd k's down the road, is a place I've been to before. I have the maps for that with me, and so I can have an adventure there. Yeah, I'm gonna go look at some maps and check in with you guys once I've formulated a plan B, as it were. Well, hello again. Take two. So I'm at the other location. It's taken about an hour and a half since I last spoke to you, just of driving to the other spot and yeah, just mucking about and getting ready. So yeah, mixed emotions. I'm in one of my absolute all-time favourite parts of the world. But on the other hand, I was really pumped for this trip, and it would have been a great adventure to share with you guys. So yeah, mixed emotions. But now that I'm out here, it's all good. Going to get some kilometres under legs today, and yeah, just go for a bit of a hike, and yeah, hopefully find a nice spot along the river. Temperature wise, it's probably about I think it's about 13 degrees when I left the car. It's predicted to get down to about 4 degrees tonight, I think, so reasonably cool. So the good thing about changing locations, because I had planned to camp on top of a mountain, I had carried, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to find water there or not, so I'd actually packed an extra 6 litres of water, so I had 8 litres of water in total, enough for 2 days. And yeah, I've only got 2 litres with me now, so my bag is 6 kilos lighter, which is very good. Oh, so I've just climbed the first ridge. Feeling a bit tired. like I said, been really busy recently, so and the weather's really darkened up, so, and now getting a few drops of rain. Similar to the last time I was out this way, where I took another ridge down to the river. I'm going to do that, but I'm going to go a bit further, so I'm going to take a different way down. And unfortunately the rain has started, so I'm going to have to put this camera away. Okay, quick rain jacket edition, and put the other camera away. Hopefully there's not too much in it. It is looking pretty dark though. So unfortunately it is still raining. It's probably been about 15 minutes or so since I last spoke to you, and it's just rained enough now that all the vegetation is wet, and so as I'm walking through it I'm picking up all that lovely water. So I'm not going to complain. It's still been really dry recently, and so every bit of rain is welcome. It's really easy under these conditions where things go wrong, like the park that I wanted to walk in being closed, like it raining, and just to pull the plug and, you know, go home. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but it's nice being out in the bush when it's raining too. So yeah, I've got nowhere to be because my plans have changed so much. I can just wander around and find a spot to pitch the tent, and then if worst comes to worst, I read my book in the rain, which is pretty nice. So yeah, it's always about making the best of whatever situation you're in, I reckon. It's beautiful. Just saw my first wild dog. Been walking in the bush for like 12 years. And that's the first time I've seen him. He took off, but whew, that was a bit, he's a big dog too. Yeah, not a fan of wild dogs. So it stopped raining enough to get the good camera out, and yeah, it is getting pretty late. It's just gone after 3 o'clock. I just need a little snack to get me through the last little bit of the walk. What I'm going to have some dried apples, I think. That sun is so nice. Oh, a bit, yeah, still feel a bit sketchy after seeing that dog. It was a big dog too. Hopefully that's the last I see of it. He took off pretty quickly, so I think he was just as scared of me as I was of it. I've got about 2 hours of light left, so it might take as much as an hour to get down to the river from here. I'm hopeful it will take a bit less than that. But I haven't, the walking's been pretty easy. So I've covered a lot of distance, but I haven't dropped a lot of elevation yet. So the last bit could be quite a steep little descent. Just hoping there's a nice campsite. Just come across a really interesting stone sitting on top of the ridge. I've never really come across a stone with like a groove like this. It could be completely natural, but it's kind of weird just sitting up top here all by itself. And yeah, I wonder if that could be a bit of an axe groove, an old indigenous axe groove. Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting stone anyway. Oh, that sun. The sun is making everything better. All the colours are popping out now, the greens, the grass. It's just really nice walking. Can feel my batteries recharging. This is what it's all about. Well, I hope I'm going to drop some elevation soon, because I've just been walking in a pretty stable elevation, and yeah, I'm hoping it's going to start reducing. Otherwise, it's going to be a very steep descent into the river. Oh, it's beautiful. Alrighty, well, the descent has started and it's not too bad. It looks like it's a fairly gradual descent. Things are a bit rocky, which is okay, but this is just, this is unbelievably beautiful. I'm getting pretty pumped. I'm in about the last 500 meters or so of my walk today, and then yeah, I'm really hoping I can find a nice flat bit of ground to put the tent up, and then yeah, the plan is just to get the fire on as soon as possible and relax and enjoy this amazing place. I'm so glad it stopped raining. This ridge has been just phenomenal to walk on. It really, yeah, rarely have I found a ridge this long and open and flat and with a pleasant gradient. I'm still pretty high, so I reckon there's a couple of hundred meters to drop still, but I've got a scent of camp now, and yeah, this is what it's all about. So just got my first proper glance at the river. It's looking beautiful, but looks like I also have a a nice thick bit of scrub until I get to the river. Looks like the last 100 meters or so is going to be pretty scrubby. I was hoping it'd stay nice and open in here, but I think it probably stays in shade most of the day, and so it's probably quite damp. So I may need to, because I was actually thinking about camping here if I could, but it doesn't look very nice at the moment. We'll see what it looks like when I get down to the river. If not, I'll just grab some water and I'll hike back up onto the ridge, and I'll find a flat spot up there and probably pitch there. Be nice to be near the water though. Oh, Jesus. Oh, awesome. I have found where I'm camping. It's so nice. Oh, this is the perfect place just to spend a few hours by the fire and relax. Nice flat ground for the tent. Oh, this has worked out so good. You can probably tell, but I'm pretty happy right now. This has worked out really, really well. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. Have a look at those cliffs behind me. Oh. Alright, I'm pretty keen to start relaxing. So I think I'm going to get the tent set up and then get the fire on. I'm actually at the confluence of the river with another creek, and you can see up the valley there, which looks spectacular. And then yeah, obviously these cliffs, which are pretty nice. And I shouldn't have to look too hard for firewood here. I can see a nice bit of dry eucalypts there already, so yeah, this is going to be good. So good. Smacked myself in the face with the tent pole. Nice. So, what I was about to say before I hit myself in the face is I've got the Nemo Dagger 2P. It's a really nice two-person tent. I've had it now for about 4 or 5 years. It's still going strong. Just get the it's got a one-piece tent pole system. Oh, can't believe how lucky I am to find this flat bit of ground. It is super flat too, and it's high enough from the river that I'm not concerned. And whilst there's a few loose rocks over here, none of them are high enough or big enough to cause me any concern. So yeah, life is good. So I do have the an optional tent floor as well. I've always liked having the extra floor. It just keeps things a bit neater and tidier, and it's certainly a bit more robust too. So because my tent is freestanding, what I'm doing is I'm just going to assemble it and then I'll position it to where I want. Tent's ready, which is pretty cool. I always like to make sure I've got a really taut pitch, and so I normally just walk around once it's initially set up and then just adjust the different points, and that way you can kind of make sure that if it does rain, the water's going to shed really easily, so and evenly. What a spot. What an absolute ripper of a spot. Alright, I think I'll just unroll the sleeping pad and sleeping bag. Because I am using a down bag, I do want to take it out of its compression sack and make sure it has time to loft up. It is going to be pretty cold tonight. I think it's going to drop down to about 4 degrees. So yeah, I'll give it time to loft up, and that's where you get your insulation from. Alrighty. So for my sleeping pad, I've got a climate insulated static V. I bought this a little while ago because I wasn't really sure if I wanted to go to an air mattress. I've been using a Thermarest ProLite Plus. This is a full air mattress. There's no foam in there. It does have a little bit of foil insulation, which works quite well. So this is kind of the best one I could find. I think I paid less than $100 for it. So they might be a little bit more expensive these days. I just got a good deal. But yeah, it's about 700 grams and it's pretty comfy. So all in all, it's pretty good. At some point I might upgrade to a slightly thicker, lighter one. But so far, this is doing the job. For my pillow, I've got an inflatable pillow by Cedar Summit. They make some really good stuff. I think it's an Arios premium pillow. It weighs about 60 grams. It's really lightweight. It's not bad. I probably will invest in a slightly bigger one. I think I'd like a little bit more loft. This one, to get the right height for me, I need to overinflate it and then it becomes quite firm. So I think I'll probably look for a bigger one, but it sounds pretty good. So whenever I take an item out of a bag like this, I'll just put the bag straight away in the tent, and that way it's not going to blow away, you're not going to lose it. So this is a Mont Helium 600 sleeping bag. Really nice, really warm, really comfy, not too constrictive, so yeah, I really like this bag. Oh, yep, it's getting cooler. I've definitely lost the last of the sun. So I'm just going to move some of my stuff. I put it down there on the rock so it doesn't get all sandy. That's the only problem with camping on a sandbank like this, is you do collect quite a bit of sand, but that's okay. I'm going to grab my stuff, put it in the tent, and then I'm going to get the fire on. So I've collected some wood. I just want to get started. It's looking like it's getting dark again. By dark I mean more chance of rain. So I don't want to muck about. What I've got is some cotton makeup remover pads, and they're just dipped in candle wax. And so you can kind of just rip them open, and they're like a really great fire starter. So I'm hoping a couple of these will be enough to yeah, get me started at least. And then once the fire starts building up a bit of heat, hopefully, yeah, we'll get a fire going. Everything's pretty soggy though. So this stuff takes a spark really easily. So I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm basically just going to lie sticks over the fire lighters and hope that that's enough to dry things out to start with. So I'm trying not to smother it, but I want all of my twigs to go near to the fire so they dry out, and hopefully they'll catch. So definitely not a pretty fire, but I just wanted to get this started. I'll go get more firewood and then keep adding it to the outside. So as the middle bit starts to catch, it dries the outside timber. So seems to be working pretty well, so better go and get some more firewood. Alrighty, well that beer went down absolute treat, but now it's time for a bit of dinner. I'm actually starving, so I've got a nice double veal cutlet. So very similar to what I had last time. It's a 50-50 blend of Montreal and Cajun seasoning. Seems to work really well. And it's what I've got at home, so, you know. So I've got a couple of bits of damp timber, and I've raked some coals over to one side. Dinner is cooking up a treat. I've got one more beer tonight. It's another ripper, and I've never tried it, but I reckon it's going to be ripper. So it's from Green Beacon. It's another double IPA, so it's another 8%er. Green Beacon are a Brisbane-based brewery, and they've made some beautiful beers in the past, and so I've no doubt this one's going to be fantastic as well. Oh, that's a good sound. Oh, it is definitely like a double. As the image on the can suggests, it's like being hit in the face. It's a beautiful thing. I've got some pumpkin and bacon risotto, and that's just in the billy can. I've probably got a little bit too much water in there, so it's just evaporating off. But yeah, oh, that's a ripper beer. As you can tell, I'm really into my craft beer. I love just seeing what people can do. I'm not super keen until there seems to be a new wave of like really sort of out there beers, all different types of sours and that kind of thing. I really like the IPAs, and yeah, for whatever reason, the bushcraft community seems to be IPA focused, and that's okay with me. So. I'm definitely not being too precious with these veal cutlets. I might actually split them in half, and that way they'll probably cook a bit better actually. As much as it pains me to cut the goodness, it's nicer to have it roasting. I'm really hungry, and I want these to cook well, so I'm gonna separate the cutlets. Yeah, it's a good move. It's pretty much raw inside, so it would have taken ages to cook. Alright, I'm just going to sear this on the hot coals. So this is the raw side, or not the raw, but the rare side basically just putting it straight in the fire. It's not a super ashy fire, it's got some decent coals in there, so I shouldn't have too much stuff sticking to the meat. But this is just a really quick way of actually getting it to cook properly. I want to tell you what my plans were today, because they were pretty awesome. I was going to climb 2 mountains and find some of the amazing old growth forests that exist in the south of New South Wales in Australia. Really tall trees, big wet eucalypt forest. But really importantly, I was also going to find and walk a few kilometres of an old historic track that's been walked for thousands and thousands of years. And so some of you might not know or be surprised to know, but Australia actually has, and it's a real shame that these things aren't known more broadly, and I hope that we are in a period of change. But Australia has an amazing history. People have been in this country for more than 60,000 years, and it's kind of incredible to think about. There's a whole other discussion. I'm super interested in Australian history, and particularly in Indigenous Australia and what this country looked like before settlement. From all accounts, it was absolutely incredible, and I think the way the bush looks now is very, very different to what it looked like then. That's a whole other story. But the trip today was really inspired by reading a book called On Track, Searching Out the Bundian Way, or something like that. It's written by John Blay. I'll link it in the description because it's a fantastic read, and if you love exploring, if you love history, if you love being out in the bush, then you're going to really, really enjoy this book. So I highly recommend it. Basically what it's going to do was it's going to climb a couple of mountains, and these were big peaks in the area that give you a good vantage point over the region. Now, John Blay is a really amazing character, but he spent the best part of a decade researching and exploring in the bush and finding an old Indigenous route from the south coast up to the high country. This route has been walked for thousands and thousands of years, and his research as a historian was kind of amazing too, and this book brings it all together. Yeah, long story short, after reading that book, I was really inspired to come out here and sort of walk a little bit of the trail, just a few kilometres, and climb a couple of mountains and get a good vantage point of this amazing country, and try and put myself in I guess a different frame of mind, thinking through how the landscape links together. I think it's really cool. I'd feel really honoured to be able to walk on a trail that's been walked for thousands of years, and I look forward to being able to do that in the future. So yeah. Alrighty, I think it's dinner time. I'm really, really hungry. I haven't eaten much today. They smell pretty good. They look pretty cooked, so I think they're going to be good. They are definitely a little bit charred, no doubt about that. That's perfectly okay. And I've got my pumpkin and bacon risotto, which is actually looking really, really nice. Have a quick taste of that. It's good. I think I might just eat this like this. That is absolutely sensational. So it's a little bit charred in places, but there's hardly any ash or charcoal in here at all. So I'm really happy with how that's cooked. Oh, life is very, very good at the moment. So dinner was pretty good, guys. Rather than spending hours and hours scrubbing the billy pot, I'll admit the risotto got a little bit stuck to the bottom of the pot. What I've done is just fill up with some river water, and it's just there steaming, and that'll pretty much be good to go once that's done. So unfortunately my uppercut is almost finished. And yeah, there's a few drops of rain, which is quite annoying. I can still see stars, so I don't think there can be much in it. But yeah, so I'm just going to pretend it's not raining. Yeah, I've piled on a bit more wood in the fire. It's throwing out a really nice amount of heat now. I did collect a little bit more just from the side here, but I haven't got heaps left, so it's now about 7:30. And I reckon I've got about 2 hours of wood, if I'm burning it this hot, left. The fire's been putting out really nice heat. It's been perfect. Good morning, guys. It's about 7:45 now. Slept pretty good. Yeah, it kind of rained intermittently the whole night. Although when you're in a tent and you've got it nice and taut, even small raindrops sound like it's quite heavy rain. So I don't think it was anything too substantive overnight. The river certainly hasn't risen at all. So got the trusty jet boil. Get some hot water on, and then yeah, grab a coffee and some porridge. Because I'm using untreated river water, I'm just giving it a bit of a rolling boil, just to make sure. You never know. I actually didn't take a water filter this trip because I thought I was going to be camping on top of the mountain last night. I had enough water for 2 days and I had purification tablets with me, so I've used those purification tablets. I use a Catadine micropore, they're really good. I use those to treat my water since I've been out here, and that way I didn't have to carry in that extra amount of water. So I'm pretty keen for coffee, so let's get that going. This is a jet boil flash with a Java kit, so it's got a French press built into the lid. So I have to say I've been trialling a few different ways of making coffee, and I reckon this is probably my favourite. It just seems to make a nice strong cuppa, and I'm going to make a decent amount today as well. I'm going to sit here and enjoy this coffee for a while. The jet boil is also really handy because it comes with a little adapter, and that means you can use it for other pots too. Well, it wants to rain again. That's really not very acceptable. Oh well, I'm sitting in the rain, I don't care. Delicious, delicious, delicious coffee. Oh, go away, rain. It's certainly getting wetter and wetter, which is really unfortunate. It's a funny sky. The clouds are moving really, really quickly.
And there's patches of blue sky, and then sort of this dark blue, which is kind of amazing, and then grey and mist, and yeah, it's interesting to be out here. I do love the rain, but it'd be nice if it just held off while I ate my breakfast. Maybe if I try the old rain jacket trick, hopefully by putting on the rain jacket, the rain will stop. Well, the rain's definitely easing. I've just moved you guys under the cover of some trees. Just hopefully, I don't know how good the weather sealing is in that camera, so I prefer not to let it get damaged again. Well, it just wants to keep raining. Finished off breakfast, cleaned up after that, and then yeah, it started raining again, which is a real bugger when you're trying to pack up. I've pretty much got everything sorted except for the tent, and then just putting stuff in the backpack. I think I'm going to head out of here pretty soon, so I'll give it another 10 minutes or so to see if it stops raining, because it is better to pack up when it's not raining. But if not, I'll just pack up in the rain, and I think I'll start walking out of here. It's about the heaviest it's been. Yeah, this is about the heaviest rain I've had since I've been here, so I'm going to sit this one out. I was talking last night about my more robust knife, not robust, more companion. So this is a hopefully you can hear me over the rain. So this is a pretty cheap Swedish-made stainless steel bushcraft knife. Any sort of knife really. I think I picked up for about $35 off eBay. The sheaths that come with it are rubbish. They have a hook that comes over here rather than a loop, and so when you're wearing your belt and you're sitting down, the knife can often pop off your belt because it's not completely secured. So I made a sheath when I did a Kydex course at the Tharwa Valley Forge. I'll put a link in the description for those guys too. So they're one of the biggest forges in the Southern Hemisphere, as I understand it, in terms of like knife making. And they run a whole bunch of courses, knife making. They're doing like Viking stuff now and axe making and all kind of stuff. Yeah, I did a Kydex course. That's the first sheath I've ever made, and it's certainly a better sheath than what came with it. So yeah. Anyway, just something to pass the time as it rains. It's these sort of scenarios that make a two-man tent all the more worthwhile. Just a little bit of extra space to hunker down in when it's wet. I've got yeah, a nice bit of space to stretch out, and I've got the door open at the moment so I can poke out this way. Yeah. For me anyway, I reckon the little bit of extra weight is worth the benefits of having a larger dry space if it does rain. So it looks like the rain's lightened up. I'm just looking at the water on the river, and there's no sort of specks on there, so I think what you're hearing is just the drops falling off the trees above me. Yeah, I'm going to take the opportunity to finish packing up, and then yeah, we'll start walking out of here. And because it was such an awesome walk on the way in, I think I'll take the camera with me again, and yeah, we'll see what else we can find on the way out. So alrighty, let's do this. Alrighty, all packed up. Wasn't too bad in the end. I managed to pick the right window where the rain just kind of eased off enough for me to get everything packed up, so everything's squared away. I've done a quick check of the campsite, haven't left anything behind. The only thing I'm leaving behind are footsteps, and they're going to disappear really quickly with the rain, so that's exactly the way it should be. Yeah, unfortunately the rain is getting a little heavier again, which is a real pain. It's kind of one of those days I think where it's just going to be on and off all day. Yeah, I think it's time to head out of here. This is such a good ridge for walking. It's just really, really pleasant. There's still a few drops of rain or moisture coming out of the trees, but yeah, might need to take my jacket off soon. I'm probably a third of the way up this spur. I think it goes for about 2.5–3 kilometres, and I've done a fair bit of well, that's kind of cool. Have you guys ever seen coral fungi before? It's always awesome when you don't have to rush. You can just take time to, see what the bush has to offer, and it's got a lot. Yeah, so I think I've done a reasonable amount of the elevation gain, probably about half, but the gradient's really quite good, so it's a lot less brutal than most of the walks I do. So I think I've climbed most of the elevation now. I've probably got about 100 metres or so left to do, maybe a bit less than that. But yeah, walking's been pretty good. A couple of videos ago, a few of you noticed that I was wearing new boots, and had a couple of people reach out and ask what I thought of them. I was wearing the Solo Fugitives, and I picked them up on sale, and last trip was one of the first proper times I'd worn them, so I wasn't really able to offer much of an opinion. But yeah, I've decided I'm not a huge fan. They, for whatever reason, the Solo didn't pull on a Vibram sole, and for me, I've always found the Vibram soles are just really, really good, offer lots of grip. So even though the boot's really well made, it's really comfy, there's a lot to like about it, but because I spend a lot of time walking on wet rocks, the grip, the traction they provide is just terrible. So yeah, I'm gonna retire this pair as my day walk pair, I think. I was lucky enough to pick up a second pair of different Solo boots on sale as well. I go through my gear pretty quickly, and so I keep an eye, and when things are on sale, I know what a good price is. So yeah, I think I'll switch to those for the time being, because yeah, unfortunately the soles just don't give me the traction, the grip that I need for walking on particularly wet rocks. So I'm sure it'll be a great boot if you're walking on trails and you weren't having to navigate a lot of slippery wet rocks. But yeah,
for me, these ones are going to get retired and put into a the day walk category, and at least then I'll have a nice pair of boots that aren't completely trashed and smelly for when I go walking with family and friends and stuff. So yeah. Oh. Walk's going well, but I need a little energy hit, so I'm just going to have a quick snack. It's pretty cold. Yeah, I don't think it would be much more than about 10 degrees so far. It obviously doesn't help being wet and damp with a bit of a breeze as well. Excuse me while I stuff my face for a bit. It's cold. As soon as I've stopped walking, it's yeah, I'm starting to cool down pretty quickly. So I'm going to finish my little bit of flatbread and then yeah, keep going I think. Alrighty, well the rain's back, so yeah, time to put the camera away and yeah, try and cover some distance. I'll catch you guys on the main ridge. Well, as you can see, a bit of a change of plans. It just didn't stop raining, and I was getting pretty cold and tired, and so I thought I'd just hightail it back to the car, which is what I've done. It's about 12 o'clock, so just under 3 hours of walking to get back here. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think it's about 6 kilometers all up, but probably a good 800 meters elevation gain and loss. So yeah, look, that's the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. It wasn't the trip I had planned, but yeah, hopefully you enjoyed it anyway. I'm glad I didn't turn around and go home, but instead came out and made something the weekend. So yeah, if you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing. Just helps get the channel out there a bit more. And yeah, any questions or comments, please feel free to drop those below. Really happy with all the interaction I've got so far. It's all really been positive, and yeah, really enjoy being part of this community. So anyway, until next time, thanks very much for watching. We'll see you then. Bye.